All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Well, welcome back, traders. We were focusing on that $1,400 level in the S&Ps. Maybe I thought it was going to be resistance, but it turned out to be support, Dennis.
Yeah, we've bounced off that whole 1400 area once again. You can't keep a good market down here, Joel, and the market just keeps on rallying.
Yep, that got an upside target now of 1415 in the S&Ps. That would take us up to last Monday's high. Just short of the move, the major number on the upside is 1419.75. Dennis, you talk about a stock or an index holding a whole number and then rallying. We were looking to see if Apple could hold 600 today, and that looks like it's just going to be a number in the past.
Man, Apple, unbelievable. There was another, I think, analyst upgrade with another $1,000 price target, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't click the headline, but I kind of seen it fly by. So, it's getting, more upgrades, more analysts getting on board. Up another 11 points. I mean, it has a pullback day. Looks relatively weak on Friday, so it makes you start thinking, well, maybe it's going to break down. But no, it's a fake. It's not a breakdown. It's a fake down, Joel. And 600 holds, and the stock takes off.
Okay, we were talking about the oils that kind of pulled the market up by the bootstraps last Thursday. Getting some follow through there, Dennis. ExxonMobil approaching that double top at 87 and a quarter, just running into all kinds of problems. Chevron did peek its head up above 108 there, but now is back down. I'm telling you, if these things, if this ExxonMobil can just break out of this 87 and a quarter range, we could have a whole new driver for the market.
Yeah, the oil stocks are starting to form a base here. You had a couple of bottoms there, and we bounced right off that low of that range, basically the monthly, well, not the monthly, but the low from the last couple of weeks, down in that 85 area. And we've been straight up here for a couple of sessions, and we're getting some follow through again. It opened weak, kind of went down a little bit, but then found some buyers, and now we're up in that 87 area, where an 87 and a quarter we're approaching, where we were talking about resistance on our show this morning.
Okay, IBM did make a new 52-week high, only by a couple pennies there, so let's keep an eye on that 209.15 level. Other stocks of interest in the Big Ten making moves. Procter & Gamble going up, moving up to that other end of the range. Are our boys still sitting at 68?
Boys are still sitting at 68, so the high-frequency boys are sitting at 67, 80s, and 90s. So we got to 67, 76. We've peeled back a little bit from there. If we continue to rally today, expect major high-frequency resistance in the 67, 80s and 67, 90s. We take out that 68, though, and those high-frequency guys will be getting out in a hurry. So 68 is the bogey number on this. If 68 goes, you don't want to be short.
Okay, Johnson & Johnson, Dennis, still hanging up here around the $66 level. Couldn't quite get to Friday's high. We have a major number up here at 66.32, which was the high back on February 1st. So Johnny & Johnny is still hanging in there.
Yeah, it's hanging in there, Joel, just hanging out 25 cents or so below resistance. So you got maybe some swing trader guys that are saying, maybe that resistance holds. Obviously gets a little bit closer to there than the high frequency guys. They don't like to risk more than a dime, so they don't usually slip too much further than a dime away from resistance. But they'll be up there in the 66 quarter area. And then if they get through there, 66 and a half, I was noticing some size there too.
Okay, it looks like the Motor City Kitties on the prowl here. General Motors gets up to 26.42, and looks like someone let the air out of their tires.
Yeah, GM had a nice rally off the hop, opened right near the low, rallied quickly 40 cents, and then it has come back down to that support area, trading right there right now, the 26.02. It'll be interesting to see if this $26 area can hold. Like we were saying, tomorrow they do have March sales coming out, so sometimes the stock does run up into those numbers, which it was doing this morning. This could be the little pullback. May not be a bad idea to try along in this area, but you just got to be careful. We start cutting through the 26 with some conviction. There is some air there because we were sitting at 25.10 or 25.11 early on Friday morning, so that's obviously a lot of air below 26, but hopefully it can hold on, continue the rally, maybe make a run for that 27.
Okay, Ding Dong, Avon's calling.
Avon's calling. Avon Products, Joe. We talked about it. Obviously, it's getting the hostile bid, 23 and a quarter. From the private company there over that European company. 23 and a quarter was the price. It actually traded up as high as on our earlier show we were saying that too, to 24.80. Has come back down. It's trading now 22.80 since the company rejected that price, rejected the bid. So it is peeling back a little bit here, but kind of consolidating here now, Joel. I'd expect this thing's probably going to hold on to some of these gains until this whole situation resolves itself a little bit further.
They were talking about it on CNBC, and originally that company approached them and wanted Avon to buy them, and then they did it, so then they turned around to buy Avon. I mean, here you have a company without a CEO getting offered. I mean, they're just in chaos. I would not be surprised if they come out and firmly reject this bid. This thing just flops right back down.
Well, they did reject it, so they kind of did that, but, I think it's still obviously probably on the table. At least investors think it's on the table because the thing is still up 17%. So they're thinking, they're going to get a better bid. Obviously, the company's probably hoping that they can get a better bid as well. It could happen, but at the same time, like we were saying when we talked about the whole Yahoo thing on our first show, they were holding out for a better bid too, and that was obviously the wrong call, as Microsoft from 2 years ago gave them a $32 bid if I'm not mistaken, and now you got Yahoo trading down to $15, so they would have probably loved to have that $32 price. So sometimes you can't get too greedy, but at the same time the stock is having a pretty decent day today here, Joel.
Okay, did you get the new Groupon email?
The new Groupon email. Groupon, yeah. Did they talk about their accounting problems? But
they said buy our stock at 18 on Friday and get 100 shares at 16 on Monday.
Well, you can. It got down to as low as 15.70, Joel. It has bounced off there. Is finding some support in this whole area here, but this is a stock. I've talked about this. I've written a couple pieces about it before too, where the cost to borrow the stock is so high that it's very hard to take this thing home short for a long period of time. Last time I had checked, the cost was well over 100% a year. So basically, if you're taking this thing, if you take this thing home short for a couple of days, you're going to pay, I think it's 8 or 9 cents per share per day. So when the cost is that high, it's basically cost prohibitive to short it on anything other than an intraday trade. So that's what keeps these stocks artificially inflated in price. I'm not saying that Groupon isn't valued. Like you gave some pretty good arguments. It's got they good for them. They got a great following. I know, like a restaurant that I go to locally said when they have a Groupon coupon that they pack the place too. So it does drive business, and there's a lot of good following for that Groupon. So good on them. I just don't know if it's sustainable or not in my own opinion. So I'm not a big fan of owning this stock, but I'm not a big fan of shorting it when it costs that much to borrow it. So I just said I watch Groupon in awe.
Right. Okay. I mean, you're right, Dennis. At 15.70, just looking at the chart and coupling that with the high borrowing cost, you got to figure people are gonna almost incrementally want to take profits on their shorts, because if it stays in this same area for 4 or 5 days, they're losing money.
Yeah, that's
because
the
of their transfer costs. So I would anticipate this 15.70 to hold up here for a while, consolidate around the $16 area. You do have 14.85. Which is the post IPO low, but this could just be stuck here for a little bit until some analyst comes to the rescue, or these accounting problems linger on.
So that's all I've really got for you on updates on our market movers here today. Obviously, the entire broad market has bounced nicely here, and we're looking into a pretty good broad-based rally. Oil stocks kind of leading the way a little bit here right now. Any closing thoughts there, Joel?
The Bulls got the hop on the 1400 off the open, got up to 1408.50. That kind of mingles with Wednesday's intraday high, and of course you got the Globex high. Just should be real interesting. I'd like to see us holding this 1405 area, the kind of a mid-range on the day. If not, if we come back and slide back under that 1400, Dennis, I think you're going to get some pressure to hit Friday's low. But so far for the quarter, the Bulls are still in charge. Just a quick note to our listeners, I'm going to be traveling on business tomorrow, and so will be Dennis, so there'll be no show. Dennis Business Travels will take him out on Wednesday. But I'll be back here. I know I won't be able to do as good a job as when I have Dennis with me. He always seems to keep me in line. But, folks, we'll be back with you on Wednesday, and good trading.